introduction of economic crisis of 2008 and 2020, many people think that the global financial crisis of 2008 was the worst financial crisis in the world since 1930. This caused Malaysia to have its second financial crisis. The exact cause of 2008 recession is still unknown, but the economists believe it was the cause of liquidity crisis in England, bursting of the US housing bubble in 2006. But because of Malaysia's economy is so open to the rest of the world, it was not immune to the global economic downturn. In the last quarter of 2008, Malaysia's GDP slowed down to 0.1%. This was caused by the global economy got worse and the commodity price went down a lot in the second half of 2008. According to Surviving the Storm, the latest edition of the World Bank Malaysia Economy Monitor, the Malaysian economy is expected to shrink by 3.1% in 2020 because of the sharp slowdown in economic activity caused by the COVID-19. Also, the outbreak of the new coronavirus in China had created a wide-ranging supply and demand shocks that have resounded across the globe. China is Malaysia's #1 trading partner and a large source of the foreign investment and is top three source outside the Asia.
According to World Economic Outlook by IMF, the global economy is projected to grow at a slower pace, 3.3% in 2019 and 3.6% in 2020. Therefore, performance of world economy for the first quarter 2019 eased in most of the countries. Price statistics in this quarter shows that the consumer price index declined to 0.3% from 0.2% in the last quarter. Additionally, producer price index further declined in this quarter. Services of producer price index SPPI remain unchanged at 0.6%.
Caused by both private and public investment weaknesses. Malaysia's export of goods and services fell by 7.1% for the third quarter in a row on first quarter of 2020. This was caused the biggest drop since the global financial crisis in 2009. Movement control order had a big effect on spending on retail, travel, leisure, and recreation and durable goods during the previous period.
Situation of economy Malaysia before the crisis that can be compared are the unemployment. The statistic by the researcher Malaysian unemployment numbers are 389,200 in a year of 2011 but grew to 500,000 in 2016. Moreover, according to a source, Malaysian unemployment number was 711,000 in the year of 2020. Compare the year before happened in MCO is 508,200, which is increased about 40%. In addition, during the MCO crisis, the number of unemployment was compared towards gender, where women aged around 15 and above without jobs are 4.7%, while men are lower than women, which is on 4.4% to be compared. The unemployment struggles to get a job are driven from education qualities, efficiency, skills mismatch, low quality, and more.
Situation before economic crisis is inflation. The inflation gap between urban and rural areas widened in 2014 and continued to increase up to 3.4 index points in 2020. Furthermore, purchasing power by the main groups that recorded lower purchasing power in urban areas were held 20.1%, restaurants and hotels 25.3%, and food and beverage 27.0%.
In 2018, fortunately, domestic fuel costs saw a falling trend due to a stronger ringgit exchange rate and a barely noticeable rise in global oil prices. RON 97 and RON 95 gasoline and diesel all had decreased pricing by March 15, 2018.
The implementation of MCO indirectly affects the economic activities including household income and household expenditure pattern.
Household expenditure pattern during the MCO is expected to differ from the expenditure pattern before the MCO. This is because the expenditure of household is more focused on goods and services that are really required by the household, such as food, utilities, health, and communication. The average of household consumption expenditure during the MCO is estimated to reduce by RM1923 or 48%, while the average of household expenditure inclusive of financial expenses to record a decrease of RM3504 or 55% from the expenditure before the MCO. Expenditure on food and non-alcoholic beverages group increased by 27%, resulted from the requirement to purchase additional raw materials for eat-at-home purpose. Besides that, the expenditure on education and communication groups is expected unchanged. This is due to online education services that are still being implemented, and communication services are being supported by the higher consumption on communication services for the current needs. Meanwhile, the main groups that recorded a decrease are clothing and footwear 95, transport 89, restaurants and hotels 86, furnishings, household equipment and routine household maintenance 72, recreation services and culture 71, alcoholic beverages and tobacco 65, housing, water and electricity. In terms of the expenditure composition, food and non-alcoholic beverages group dominates the average expenditure with the share of 44% during MCO as compared to only 18% before the MCO. On the income class perspective, it is found that the top 20 T20 income class group showed a significant decrease in consumption expenditure with 59%, followed by the M40-48 and B40-41. In 2020, paid employment and self-employment, which were the main sources of income, recorded a decrease of negative 16.1% and negative 9.7% respectively. Thus, the mean of monthly household gross income decreased by negative 10.3% to record RM7089 as compared to RM7901 in 2019. The decline was contributed by households or individuals who experienced loss or reduction of income, particularly those with the status of employee, self-employed, and others. Furthermore, this reduction of income was not only caused by job loss but also contributed by the reduction of hours and increase in skill-related underemployment. Meanwhile, the median of monthly household gross income also registered a decline of negative 11.3% as compared to 2019. The value of median monthly household gross income in 2020 was RM52092019, RM5873. In terms of household distribution by decile, the majority of households saw their income fall, with many households from higher income deciles shifting to lower income deciles. In 2020, there would be an additional 12.5% of households earning less than RM2500. Meanwhile, 20% of households with incomes ranging from RM4850 to RM10959 have transferred to the B40 group. Households in the T20 group were also affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, with 12.8% shifting to the M40
the measures
group.
implemented by Malaysian government as a response towards both crises.
To robust financial industry and minimal exposures that counterparties and assets associated to the subprime mortgage crisis. Overall confidence and stability in the Malaysian financial sector have been maintained during the period of the global economic crisis. The crisis that our group going to focus is 2008 and 2020. For the 2008 crisis, excessive bank lending, and particularly in the form of mortgage, was the primary cause for the global financial crisis. On that note, that is why it was negative impact on Malaysia's financial and commercial channels. In 2008, the government launched two fiscal stimulus programs totaling 67 billion or nearly 10% of GDP. The first stimulus, which is 7 billion, was intended for initiatives that would have a significant economic multiple effect. For the second stimulus package, which cost a staggering 60 billion in total and included fiscal injections, government quarantines on bonds and private loans, equity investment in projects with high multiple effects, private financing initiatives, and tax incentives was. For the year 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant negative impact on Malaysia's economy. By contrasting the unemployment rate in Malaysia, this may be demonstrated. Unemployment rate continues to rise until May 2020 when it reaches 5.3%. Then the employment rate is 3.2%. in January 2020. Given the downward trend in a labor demand, this is a bad event. So these are the measures implemented by government. First, using the Prihatin Special
Inisiatif kelima, Geran Khas Prihatin 3.0. Kerajaan akan terus memberi sokongan untuk memastikan kelangsungan perniagaan, khususnya kepada PKS tempatan. Untuk itu, kerajaan bersetuju untuk meneruskan Geran Khas Prihatin atau GKP 3.0 supaya perniagaan mendapat bantuan untuk beroperasi semula.
Also been introduced by the government. For 3 months starting on April 1, 2020, employers will receive a subsidy under the WSP for each local employee making less than 4,000 ringgit per month. And also the Malaysian government decided to make an additional payment under Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat up to 500 ringgit in July.
Pertama, isi rumah kategori miskin Tegar bakal menerima bantuan sebanyak RM500 pada bulan Ogos, RM500 pada bulan November dan RM300 pada bulan Disember.
Future job platform also. Other than that, government give a discount on electricity costs. Lastly, a strategy put forth by the government allows EPF members whose salaries were impacted by COVID-19.
This is the comparison between B40, M40, and T20 and the recommendation for the issue.
During COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the government have launched one way to classify income per Malaysian. There were 3 categories, which is B40, M40, and T20. During pandemic happened in 2020, there was a lot of changes going on in society, especially the pattern of expenditure that every family uses in Malaysia. To compare lifestyle between B40 and M40, it is more easy for M40 to survive during the pandemic going on because they did not lose any job during that time, while B40, a lot of people in that society lost their job during that time because of pandemic, and there were a lot of company going down because of their business did not going well during the pandemic happened. Based on our interview in the journal, we think for everyone benefits is better for everyone to start to have their own saving for any future accident that we will not expect to happen, such as back in 2020. The pandemic was happened. A lot of people did not have enough money to support their family during the Malaysian Movement Control Order was launched during the year. From that time, we all noticed that it is very important to have a saving for any emergency case, especially for B40. They should learn on how to save money during this era. Nowadays, people spend their money without thinking what gonna happen in future. It is very important for everyone to save money and did not overspend over something that is not important. It may lead them to difficulty in future when did not invest the money over something that is profit. As for government, it is better for them to support Malaysian citizens to avoid any bad circumstances. In other words, government can help the citizen by set the price of raw goods at an affordable price where everyone can buy without any problem, no matter in what categories they are, especially for the one that in B40 categories.
Hi, my name is Nusrala Bentinudin, and this is my group mate. So thank you for accepting our invitation to do this interview with us. So this interview, the objective is we would like to know in depth your experience during and post COVID-19 and how you handle with that. So I will next to the interviewer to ask some questions. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Nordiana. The first question that I'm gonna ask is regarding your background. May I know a little bit about your background?
Okay. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Nazrin bin Sabi'i, and I work as currently I work at the construction project. Is under JKR. It's a bridge project. So it's almost 10 years experience working in the safety field. Yeah.
My next question is, can you share your experience during COVID-19 and the post-COVID-19?
And about the COVID-19 experience for last year's, and for my job, actually for the safety is a very special a bit for the safety. My job field is have to involved in the COVID-19. I mean the frontliner. I work as a frontliner also, so it's not a bit difficult for me during the COVID-19. Maybe it's some people is very new about the SOP, and some people don't know about the SOP. But for me, is I know about the SOP lah, the things, the how to control it during the COVID-19 happened during last year. So it's quite good for everyone, for others. COVID-19 is a new for everyone, for all people, for experience for them. So for me, it's not a new, but it's very challenging for me also lah. For my let's say for my construction work, have to control the workers for the SOP, how to control it, and some of case on site, how to handle it. This is my part of my responsibility lah.
Okay, my next question is, in your current situation, how do you juggle between your family life and your job?
For my that part is for job, like I said just now, is it's not new for me. The one is some of challenging for me also lah, the one, but I get some experience. For my family part is very some struggle, not so difficult for to handle it, the one. So we have to expose with the new kind of situation, but so far syukurlah we can handle it. And for the both I mean for the both job and the family, I can handle it at the same time. We control it with good lah.
So Nazrin, okay. My next question is, from your experience, what is the impact that you are encountered towards income?
Toward income. So for the part is my income, luckily for this kind of situation like previous last year for the COVID-19 issue, I think for my income is so far is okay. I'm not sure with my others colleague happening with the other laborers. I heard they have issue with their income lah. So for me it's okay because I have to attend my my work as a safety officer. So they paid me nicely lah. They paid me with no problem with my salary. The income is not difficult and not the problem during that time lah. But I also heard some of the other laborers, my colleague, they face that problem for the income. They maybe they cut off for the allowance, but for the basic salary they still paid lah. But for the government also informed us during that time, during COVID-19, the employer have to pay the salary, basic salary to the workers, right? So that one is the rights for the employees to claim the salary with the employer, right? So I think there's not problem for others industry. I'm not sure with the other industry like maybe franchise, the business, small business, maybe they have faced the problem. For me, it's no problem for the construction work because we have control on SOP. So I also have to work on during that time. So they pay me my salary lah. And the safety officer, some of people never heard about the safety officer, and the safety just like security before. They said, oh, this is like safety officer used during that time. So I'm not so proud to say this because that during that time people know that safety is market is very high during that time. The government demand on the safety during that time, so they need us to become the frontliner during that time. So I think there's not problem for me lah.
What's the impact that you encounter for your expenditure pattern? Your expenditure
pattern, yeah. I think it's like what I said just now. It's not for my current job. Work as a safety is not problem, and for my lifestyle is I think maybe with everyone is facing this problem also because due to the rise of the things, the price, and the some of the charges subsidized have taken back by from the government. I think this in fact is everyone is face this problem lah. I think I can handle it this issue for the impact from our economy is not very stable right now. So some of people have to plan their own stuff lah. Like me, I have the saving for future. In case for emergency, we have need to plan something for us also for the future for investment. But investment we have to do the safe one lah. So I think that's for my how to encounter this problem during the COVID-19 for the before and after. Not we have to wait maybe in the future we will face again some of emergency like new case. We have to planning ourselves how we control it, how we plan for our future life.
last question is during COVID and post-COVID-19, there are a lot of subsidies given by the government to help our society. So do you think that is helpful for us?
I think for me, I work now. I work as a safety officer. My income is range on the T20 during before the COVID-19 is my range is a T20, and I think during the COVID-19 happened after that, I think everyone is face same thing like me. I become a M40, right? M40 is below than T20, right? This I think is a 220. Then after that, because you know lah, right? Our economy is not very stable. Everything's like eggs, oil increase very. So everyone is facing this problem where OPR goes up. So I think for the subsidies, not everyone is qualified receive from the government. So I think for me, the only thing I received during the COVID-19 is my own money from the EPF. So that's not this from government. Not really. To be honest, it's not very helpful for the level range like T20 to M40, M20 is it? Sorry. Okay, so I think the B40 mostly, I think not all B40 receive or qualified for the subsidized. Like in Sarawak, we have the BKKS, I think, right? BKS, and some of the from federal subsidy have not everyone qualified for that one. So it's not very helpful. So that's why I said just now, for me, I have to plan in the future. We have to do some saving and like investment, safe investment. Right now, we have to get our own planning for the future. We don't want happen again in the future. We have nothing, not government not really help others people or everyone. So we have to stand by ourselves lah. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Any
Thank you.
That's all from us. Hello and good morning to Madam Rizilawati. My name is Andy Lydia and this is my team. Thank you for agreeing to do an interview with us. The objective of this interview is we would like to know in depth what's your experience during and post COVID-19 and how you handle with it.
Hello, hi. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, madam.
Morning, madam.
Okay, hi. Hi, my name is Nilia. I would like to ask a few questions during this interview. Shall we start? Okay.
Sure.
As for the first question, may you please tell a bit about your background, madam?
Okay, my name is Ruzilawati Muhammad Jamil. I'm 49 years old, married with 4 kids, and currently attached with Khazanah National. Okay. Is it sufficient information?
Yes. Want to know about your background in the job scope?
Oh, okay. So currently in Khazanah, I'm with strategic human capital management, or in other terms, which is with the human resource department. So in human resource department with Khazanah, basically we have various units, and my role in the SSCM or in strategic human capital, basically I'm leading the talent engagement teams.
All right, nice
So
to know you.
what is, sorry?
Okay, nice to know you, madam.
Thank you.
All right, as for the next question, can you share your experience during COVID-19 and also post-COVID-19?
Okay, I think talking about COVID-19, it started in somewhere in March 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
It's correct, right? 2020 or 21? 2020, right? Okay. So for myself, okay, this is you want me to share in the perspective of my own experience,
yes,
right? Okay, so during COVID-19, so what happened? Okay, to the organization, basically, everybody is at that time, everybody working from home, and for Khazanah, basically, we try to support in terms of the employee engagement, everybody or everything doing by virtual lah, basically. Yeah, so that is basically the experience during COVID-19. And also my own experience, basically I'm fully working from home 100%. But the challenge is when you working from home and you always exceeded the normal working hours lah. So instead the time it was always more than 8 hours. So that is in general.
Current situation, how you juggle between.
This is you are talking about post-COVID?
Yeah, for this current situation.
So talking about post-COVID, okay, for myself, I'm fully working in the office at the moment. And talking about how do I, the challenge, okay, how do I cope up with my families and also my work? I think is for me more or less is the same, but the only thing is more on how should I say? It's more on the employee well-beings lah. For example, okay, talking about me. So in terms of well-being, we talk about is relate to mental health, right? So post-COVID, basically, in terms of the mentality, the mindset, so everybody affected. So that is how I look at it lah. But for me in general, I think for me and for my family, we are doing okay lah. That is my perspective, yes.
Okay, thanks, madam. Next question. From your experience, what the impact that you encounter towards your income?
The impact. Okay, I think talking about financial, I would say that I'm very grateful that I'm working with a company that there is no pay cut, nothing. Talking about myself, I think I'm quite I'm quite grateful because I'm attached with the company, which is there is no pay cut. And in terms of financial, I would say everything remain unchanged. And in fact, I think during COVID, is not to say it's a bless, but because of I have the opportunity working from home, so I think I have more time in the house rather than before, because I always busy and always not at home on time lah. So I think during COVID, for me, the impact would be a bit, I think it's positive, because I would be able to work from home and I would be able to spend with my family members at the same time.
I agree with that. Okay, the next question, from your experience also, what the impact that you encountered toward the expenditure pattern?
Expenditure patterns, okay. As you are aware that the government has announced at that time moratorium, right? So we take the opportunity. I mean, of course, we can pay our debts as usual, but since this is something that given by the government, so we take the opportunity, and I think this is something that a good point. I think for me the pattern is I have the opportunity to save more. So I can save more, and that is actually which is something good, a positive point. In terms of the expenses for the family, I think not much impacted, and the only thing is I think we cook more, and the only thing is because of when sorry the noise.
Okay, Adam.
Okay, okay. So and the impact a bit maybe because of when we need to order food. The in terms of the delivery, the cost, but I think it's manageable lah. For me, not so much lah. I mean, the impact in terms of the expenses, the expenditure is not much. I think is more saving. To me, it's a bit more saving because of during COVID, we are not allowed to go out, right? Yeah. So so I think that is something I take the opportunity to save more.
All right. Next question, the last question. During the COVID and the post-COVID-19, there's a lot of subsidy given by the government to help our society. Do you think the action by the government are helpful?
Definitely yes. And I think we really thanks the government for whatever initiative or whatever effort given by them lah. And that also helps a lot of community outside, which is those who are really needs for the support in terms of financial, physically and mentally lah, I would say. So in terms of the bantuan given by the government, for example, like whatever cash allowance cash assistance, the subsidy, that is really helps the society or the community outside lah. For me, okay, even though for me it's not so impacted, but I think I also take the opportunity because like my organization, we always do a donation drive for other community. So we take the opportunity to always give donation because there is no pay cut for the employees. So we try to drive a lot of voluntary works, this is also indirectly try to help community or other society as well lah.
All right. Thanks for sharing your opinion, madam. Okay, that's all from us. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for your time, madam.
No worries. Okay. All the best for your project. I hope that whatever that to contribute to your projects papers lah.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Okay, good evening to Mr. Ashraf. So, hi, my name is Hasika and this is my tip. Thank you for agreeing to do an interview with us. The objective of this interview is we would like to know in depth what is your experience during and post COVID-19 and how you handle with it.
Okay, for the first question is, can you please tell a bit about your background?
Okay, first, hi everyone. So my name is Ashraf. I'm 25, and I'm married and has one child, and I'm freelance of wedding photographer. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, next question is, share your experience during COVID-19 and post-COVID-19.
Okay, so based on my job scope during COVID-19, it does affect my my job because there's ongoing rule about wedding are not allowed and such. And then it has given me a hard time for some time cope up with my lifestyle. For post COVID-19, alhamdulillah, things are getting better and there's an improvement where people can already do event on their wedding and etc. So I can continue doing what I love, which is my job. Yeah.
Okay, next question is, in current situation, how you juggle between life and job?
Okay, so between the family life and job, so during COVID is still ongoing. I did do a part-time job, which is being a food panda rider for quite some time. And then I did it to have an extra income to support my family while my main job is on hold. So for current situations, everything is fine, back to normal, like it used to do. Yeah, that's it. That is my current situation lah.
From your experience, what the impact that you encounter towards your income?
From my experience, I did have to cut cost of my family's expenses because there's no spending money, like there's no tomorrow anymore. Me and my family have to do a costing to make sure our monthly income is enough to make a living for a month.
Okay, during the COVID and post-COVID-19, there's a lot of subsidies that given by the government to help our society. Do you think it's helpful?
For me, it is helpful for a certain time. The subsidies can be a top up to our income just in case of emergency. So for me, it's helpful for us before tier.
All right. Alright, thank you, Encik Ashraf. That's all from me, my question.
Okay.
So, I give back to Nikki.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your time.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.